Hey everyone, it's definitely not been like 2 years almost since I did one of these last, but here we are again, Crazy Senpai Art and the Pokemon Challenge videos. I was having a lot of fun making this one. It's been so long since I've done one. I'm sorry if you hear noises in the background. It is windy as hell today and there's a little dog in here now. Little Peanut the Poodle. As always, we start the game in the back of a moving van. We're just setting the time limits. So today, actually, we're doing something a little bit different than normal. We are doing a grass run. I'm doing an all grass type teen run, and Peanut is up here. So if you hear any snoofing, that's my little baby poodle, and he will be up here, our little guest speaker, won't you? So, first we gotta go talk to Brandon, go talk to his dad. I changed the starter for this one. I know there's a grass starter in these games, but I typically always change the starter, I've noticed, so why not just, keep it going as it is. I changed it to Roselia since you can't get Roselia in Emerald, and while there are other grass Pokemon, I pretty much catch all of them and at least show them off a little bit during this challenge. But Roselia is one of my favorites. You can see an old Emerald Roselia run if you would like. But we get Roselia, we name him Rosolio. He has a mild nature, and these are his stats. He's a little bit squishy at the moment, but that's perfectly fine. That won't become a problem in the future. But before we do anything, we go to fight Brandon and his Torchic, and somehow we win. I just growthed and then absorbed, and then just sucked him dry. It's definitely not inappropriate in the slightest. What's up, Peanut? Yes. We go get Pokeballs and go get our running shoes from our mom. Then we just go start catching Pokemon. The first thing I run into is a Ralts. I do need the Ralts actually, but this is the first time I've ever run into a Ralts before I run into anything else in the game in the wild. So I just named it Hal. I'm sure the person who's going to be receiving this is going to love that. So first we get the Ziggy Zoom squad, as always, to get Pick Me Up. We name them Pick Me Up Before You Go, because I forgot that I put you in one of their names, so it's Pick Me Up Before You Go. A classic goof from myself. As always, we must always goof things up. But this is the Ziggy Zoom squad. They will only be here pretty much as filler to pick up some items before we get the grass team. There are a few grass Pokemon you can get a hold of before the first gym, and that is what we are going to do. First we go talk to Dad first, because before we can do much of anything, we gotta go help Wally, and he also runs into a Ralts first. That how it be sometimes. That really do how it be. Very low odds of it being that way, but it do be how it be. And we run into the classic Scott, our favorite. First, we go get a Shroomish. I love Shroomish. It's one of my all-time favorite Pokemon, just Shroomish in general, just a goofy little goofball. And we name Shroomish Shroomy, because of course we do. Then, I forget up until this point that there are Lotads that I can get, so I have to beat this trainer first and then go back and get a Lotad. We will be adding Lotad to the team. How could we have a team of grass Pokemon without our lovely little man Lotad? Now he is so squishy. This poor little man can't take a single hit for a very long time. Once we catch him, we name him Giggles, just a little giggly man. Then we go take our Ralts that we caught and then go trade it to this random fella for a C-Dot. C-Dot is also incredibly squishy and not very good at first, so they take a while to train them up to be worth anything here. Their stats, this is Dots first, decent defense. This is these are all the rest of them. And, Yugo is still in the party because I've not caught other grass type Pokemon. Once we catch those grass type Pokemon, we take them to Roxanne and then go beat her Rock's ass. It actually was a little bit more difficult than I expected for a team of fully grass, but I am trying to level up some of my weaker members, so you know how it be. I do get stuck here for a minute because of Nose Pass. That was not irritating in the slightest, but thankfully Shroomy can suck the life out of people, and we can just go on from there. Get the team for Rock Tomb, can't do anything with it. Then we run into the Devin's Good Man, and then we have to go get his Devin Goods back. Steven Stone's daddy really needs to get some better employees, or at least employees that aren't prone to being bullied. We do fight all the trainers we run into because we're definitely going to need as much experience as we can get in this run. Because there's one thing to training one Pokemon at a time, there's a totally different thing when you're training 6 at a time. Now, thankfully, I let them evolve, the ones that can evolve, but it is a major pain in the rear to get to that point. We gotta go save Pico from Mr. Briny, because of course we do. It's his best friend. No man can live without his Wingull. We take the Devin Goods back to Steven's dad, and then we run into our rival. He's just sitting outside of town. Instead of helping us, he's like, haha, do you want to fight? This guy scares me a good bit. Not because the fact that he has a Lotad, but because he has a fire type Pokemon. And while Giggles is grass water, Giggles is as sturdy as an actual lily pad, so he can't really take it on. But we do eventually get a win. We switch out Giggles for Dots, and then Dots is just throwing hands and dies, because of course he does. Is a running theme for him. So we send out Shroomy, we give him the Stun Spore, and then we give him the Leech Seed, and then we just have to hope to God that we can out-heal this thing before it tries to kill us. It gets a crit. We aren't having a good time, but the Paralyze helps us multiple times in a row. That's how it be. So at least we can send in Rozoyo, and then Rozoyo will be able to tank any hits. It was a little bit of a scary fight, but at least this time I won. So we go off with the win. Rozoyo levels up, and we are told we are pretty good. Giggles actually evolves after this battle, so I'm glad that I didn't sacrifice him to the chicken nugget god himself. And then we go back to Briny. First, we actually need to go get something from Petalburg Woods? The Petalburg Woods. If it's not that, please make fun of me in the comments, because I'm going to correct myself just on screen. As you can see, Dot is incredibly annoying to have in battle, because he still can barely hit anything. Now with Slackoth it was a lot easier to do because he has the Truant, but at least Dots was able to evolve into a Nuzleaf, and he's still We got Shroomy here checking his stats. Giggles, we're checking his stats after he evolved. Rozoyo seems really broken at this point of the game, but trust me, that does not last long. Mr. Briny Man, can you take us down to Dewford so we can go throw hands? We want to go get the Silk Scarf so we can give it to our Pokemon. Every Pokemon that I have actually has items. We don't use items in battle, but we are allowed to hold them, and we're have it set to be a switch. I probably forgot to do that in the beginning, so I apologize for that, but that was because I've not done this in well over a year, probably close to 2 years. So once we get past that point, we have to go fight Brawly. Brawly was oddly hard to do for some reason. The reason I go to Brawly before I do anything else is because I hate trying to navigate areas without Flash, so I will do anything to not do that. I am so lazy that I don't even want to look up guides to do it blind. I just want to get it over with and teach somebody Flash. This Machop, though, is whooping our ass. This little fella is so strong that Leech Seed's basically doing anything. We're not getting the Paralyzed luck, but we do eventually take him out, and Rozoyo levels up. Then there's Meditite. As long as you keep hitting it, you're perfectly fine. Just keep smacking it, and it can't do much of anything to you. I don't know why he would have gotten a Meditite when you can't even get them in Emerald. And, you know, just make it not hit, but whatever, I guess I'm not the gym leader here. But thankfully it heals on Meditite and not Makuhita, so we absorb and take all of its health. And then we're now on the smackdown match with Makuhita, but I was able to get it some growths off. And with that, we were able to win the badge and get the hell out of here, because I don't want to be here anymore. I just want to continue with the story. We get Mega Drain and replace Absorb, because it's basically the same thing, and say goodbye to Brawly and get on out of here. Need to go find Steven in a cave. He gives a Steel Wing, which again, completely useless for this team. I never realized how limited our team would have been came to TMs, but I guess it makes sense now that I think about it, because I'm using, at least before the gens where grass Pokemon were a lot better, they're not the best in these games. Once we get Steven, we go get the EXP share so I can help level up some of these goofballs. We go to the Sody Pop shop. I must inject all of my Pokemon with Dr. Pepper. I actually have one beside me right now. This is the only way to live. But once we do that, we go into the museum, and we're just squaring up with the Team Aqua guy. I am kind of afraid of the Zubat, to be honest, because I am, again, lots of grass types, that this Carvana doesn't faze me at all. It's kind of funny that it actually got put to sleep by Shroomi's ability versus being stunned, because being put to sleep is a lot better than being stunned. We leave the museum, Scott says, "Hey, what's up, kid?" and then walks on his way. After we see Scott, we run into Brandon, and this fucking Wingull. This Wingull scares me. I cannot stand some of these birds. It's not scary right now, but just wait. Now we run into Combuskin, and this is where we start having problems. First we stun Combuskin, then we get off a growth, then we almost die to one Ember. We give him the suck, and we just keep Mega Draining him. I don't know how I lucked out as much as I did during this, but now we gotta bring out Giggles. Giggles says, I'm gonna hit you with the Swift, and I'm gonna hit you with the Swift again. We take him out, and now he has his own Lombre. Lombre v. Lombre, as they would say. I had no idea what to do about this, so I just kind of stayed in battle and kept smacking Fake out for some reason, because I'm a bit of a dum-dum. Once I realized that I can use nature power and it just turns into Swift, we take him out, and Giggles really shows that he can pull his weight pretty good. I apologize if you hear growling in the background, that is my puppy. He's a good boy, but he likes to talk when I talk. Now we go get our next team member, Cherry, that I'm most definitely going to call Cherry repeatedly throughout this run. They are our Oddish, because of course we need Vileplume. It's one of my favorite Pokemon. Then we go see the Mystery Man, the Trick Master himself. I just do those for fun, not for any story purposes. But once we deal with the Trick Master a little bit, we go get a bike because we're definitely going to need it. And we go fight some cycling people, and then eventually our Oddish turns into a wonderful little Gloom, my favorite grass Pokemon. After that, we go say, hey, what's up to Wally and his dad? They're standing outside of a gym with a single Pokemon ready to battle. And I just headbutted twice with Shroomy, who was almost dead when he started the battle. That is how squishy that poor Gardevoir was. That poor Ralts was. We go catch a second Oddish just in case I want to get a Blossom and name it Bella. Then we go to, I'm assuming, Wallace's family. I've still yet to confirm this myself because I'm too lazy to actually check. But the family in this house up here gives a decent amount of XP, and we just go in and start smacking our way through. We actually win, but barely, but because it's a straight-on fight. Go there, get the little item that they give you, and then go to Watson. Watson, we were both not doing much to each other. Poor Cherry couldn't take a hit there, but now it's Giggles' turn. Giggles just keeps using Swift because that's all he's really good for. I actually lose this round because his Pokemon for some reason are just that much more intense than mine. Dots is still not that good, and I hate to say it, but Dots is definitely going to get replaced. I just threw Go out because I knew he wasn't going to last. I was trying to throw Pokeballs so it wouldn't make me use a move, but I didn't have much choice in the matter, now did I? This Magneton kept healing. Rosoyo said, okay, let's see if we can win this. We Leech Seed, we Growth, we give him the Poison Sting, we get the Poison, but we lost. Sadly, just at the end of the battle. So we level up just a itty bitty bit and then try a new tactic. Cherry actually makes it through the first fight, but barely, and still gets taken out by Electric, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Giggles smacks him with some Swifts. Now we're stuck at this Magneton again, so the only thing I can think to do is just use Absorb and Swift. Then we Leech Seed Magneton. And then we're just Mega Draining, we paralyze him, and we're trying to get him to waste all of his potions on him versus his Manectric. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but now he's dead. We Leech Seed the Manectric, we smack him with a stun, and we miss, and then we do it again, and we don't. Then we just start headbutting as hard as we can, and Shroomy takes the win once again, and the perfect timing for Shroomy to evolve into his true form, Breloom. We get Mach Punk, and I replace Stun Seed with Mach Punk because we're going to have other, like, status-affecting Pokemon, so I don't necessarily think that Breloom needs it. Breloom's all about punching people. Clearly, you can see by the stats that Breloom is much better at punching and then putting things to sleep and tanking out everything. He's actually physically our strongest Pokemon right now. We go talk to the old lady. She doesn't want to let us leave because why not? Then we run into Team Aqua and Magnus squaring up down here in the caves. And then we need to leave the caves and immediately run up the mountain to go see Maxie. Maxie's a little bit scary. Both of these guys are actually kind of scared for my team. You would think the water one wouldn't be so bad, but they have a bunch of flying types. So I can't really defeat that. But we do. Peanut. Sorry for the interruption, that was my dog barking at things, but oddly enough, a magical leaves to take out Camerupt. We go from Camerupt to nothing, and we just leave. But first, before we leave, we grab the meteorite, and then we go to Girl Scout Granny and grab all of them lava cookies, because that is the best thing to feed them. Now, this is a very, very not so fun part of the game. Flannery absolutely wipes most of my team. I had to battle her. Now I'm starting to script these, so in the future it won't be as bad after this in the next challenge video that I also did not script, but I don't remember how many times she beat me because she beat me that many times. It was so painful just to get past. Camera up was a bit of a problem, but the real problem was Torkoal because she had overheat. So she would just slap me side to side and then the whole team was down. So we needed to level up a bit, and as you can see we have an extra member right now, a little egg. But we needed to level up a little bit, just a little bit of a grind, because we were not getting anywhere at the current state we were in. And it sucks because the best place to grind is either against water or fire Pokemon here, so half of them are dangerous, but thankfully Shroomy is strong enough that it's not too big of an issue. You can just headbutt everything into oblivion. So we go back to Flannery, everybody is level 30 now, or a little bit above 30 depending on who it is, and we'll see if we can get out of this mess. Sadly, good old Giggles don't learn a water move still as a Lombre, so we have nothing really super effective against her. The best thing I can do is leech seed things with Rosolio until he's dead, and then just hope to God that I can get out. Sadly, we did not beat her this time, and we just got wiped, so it do be that time again. We gotta do a little bit more of a grind. Here's their stats, as you can see. Dots is falling behind a little bit. Everyone else is doing pretty good, especially Shroomy. Shroomy's really got that attack on lock. It does help that Shroomy is the only fully evolved Pokemon that's not a one-stage evolution here, but in general, you know how it is. We do change up the strategy a little bit, but sadly, the strategy change did absolutely nothing, and we got beat again. We did get pretty close though, and Rosolio got out and was able to at least almost half-shot the Torkoal. So there is hope. First we beat the Numel with Giggles. Giggles is just trucking through doing his best. And then we send out Dots. Dots actually does something for once and uses secret power and takes out the Numel. We harshly lowered the defense of the Camerupt. We leech seeded it, and I fell in love with it. Don't know why Camerupt is able to do that. No offense, Camerupt, but you're not the most visually appealing Pokemon. But thankfully, Rosolio is too much of a, what's the meme? The Sigma? I don't know. Rosolio is too strong for that, but we finally get to Torkoal and it's poisoned. So we headbutt and it missed, and then Shroomy took the win. Shroomy has been an incredible asset to the team. We get overheat, can't do anything with it, but we do go out to get our next member. We go get the root fossil and we revive it into a Lilip. And I've never used a Lilip before, but our egg for Why Not also hatches right when we get it, so we just throw that thing in the box because it's not a grass type. We go get the tan for Toxic, and I teach it to Rosolio, and now we're going to go catch a Cacnea. Sorry Dots, but you have just not really been that good for the team, so I'm going to temporarily replace you with a Cacnea until we get our true final team member. We go see Mr. Trickmaster again, just kind of over and over because they've built up a little bit over time, and now we gotta go fight my dad. This Swellow really hurt. I don't know why I sent Shroomy out to just instantly die to that thing, but thankfully we get a poison off on it. That was the only thing that saved us, was the fact that we poisoned it, because otherwise we would have just died. Meeps is the only member of the team who can actually somewhat take a hit from that thing, but it still took over half of its health. So, yeah, didn't like that Swellow. Now we gotta fight our dad. It doesn't seem like it's gonna be that bad because I mostly just need to toxic things, which I know is a bit of a cheap tactic, but when you're using grass Pokemon before they got decent, you kind of gotta use cheap tactics. We send out Meeps, and this is the fun part where it just goes on and on and on. I Ingrain and just keep throwing acid on him. He can barely hit me. I keep constricting acid, and the Ingrain made it to where I couldn't get out of the battle. So anytime we throw Meeps out in the battle, he's basically just there to stall them out of their Poke Points. Literally, that's all Meeps is for. We got pretty good down low with slacking. He did one-shot Cacti, but we send out Shroomy, the true champ. Sadly, we only have Rock Smash at this moment in the game, which is an absolutely terrible fighting move, because somebody had to learn it on the team, and I didn't want to carry around a non-grass team member. We do eventually fix that, though. We go get the TM for Ice Beam, and we do teach it to Mr. Giggles, because somebody needs to know Ice Beam on this team, and he's the only one that can. We also got Surf, thank goodness. It kind of sucks that he has 2 HM moves right now, but eventually we do fix that as well. Surf is not a bad HM move for him, but Strength is kind of pointless for him. We do run into Watson, and he gives us the key to go fix the electrical thing. Then we run into Steven. I don't even know what he was going on about, or why he's just waiting over here by the weird little beach. But we do catch our last team member, which is a Tropius. I've always liked Tropius. I hope it's Tropius, because the other way sounds weird. We evolve Cacnea, give him a little bit of growth before we just box him permanently, because we weren't able to turn around and get Tropius right away. This is Cacti before we send him to the box for good with dots. Sorry, buddy, but you and Bella are just going to be sitting in here for the rest of the game. I apologize for that. Tropius is a pretty good member to the team. Cool typing combo, a little bit of more of the tanky side, but he's a good member of the team. We take a nap here at the Weather Institute, and we go fight the Team Aqua admin who's in here causing problems. They give me a cast form. Sorry, cast form, you're not a grass type. Then we go pick up the Leaf Stone that's south on this route, and evolve Gloom into Vileplume. Now we're really getting a team together. These are their stats for the team. Rosolio, Cheery. Cheery's looking pretty good. Meeps will take a while to evolve, sadly, but that tankiness. Shroomy got that attack, and then Giggles seems to be a bit more well-rounded, as well as Tropius, but we just got him, so he doesn't have any of the effort values or anything. We run into our rival for the one more time, and the Combustion couldn't do anything because I toxiced it. Sorry, buddy. Cheap tactics always win, and at least for me, Toxic's a pretty cheap tactic, and I love to use it because it makes people mad that I use it. I always have Pokemon that can learn it. We run into Scott. He, I guess, was watching a battle from afar. So there's no way we're taking on Winona. Or Winona? Sorry, to me, it'd be Winona. We decided to not take her on yet because clearly we were going to have a problem with her. So I'm going to grind up against all of the trainers on this route before I do anything. And also go beat my rival for one more match in front of them all. Because that's usually where you like to fight, is in front of malls. These Pelipers make me so angry. Pelipper's a cool looking fella, but the fact that he constantly protects makes me mad. We do get Body Slam. We don't really have anything to replace because we do need Cut right now. So kind of suck that we didn't use that, but that'd be how it is sometimes. Tropius pretty much wiped his whole team, so he's definitely feeling it. We go check our lotto numbers. Sadly, we don't win anything, and we just kind of go up and go shop and relax a little bit. I do buy a bunch of like the proteins and all that stuff to try to level up my Pokemon as much as I can with their appropriate stats. I also get a Pikachu named Bonkachu. It took so long to find this little fella. I had to go through this Farzelling 5 times. We go up to Mount Chimney, tell Team Aqua to go away, and then they give us the little thing to go with the meteorite. Now it's time to attempt Winona. Keyword, attempt. She is incredibly painful. That Pelipper with the Protect really caused issues, but Skarmory loves to cause issues. I didn't realize this until now. I changed the game plan later, so no need to call me out on that unless you want to boost the algorithm. I didn't think to save Giggles for the Altaria at first, because it's quad weak against ice. Nobody make fun of me for that, please, because I just get completely wiped by this stupid Skarmory. I hate to say it, but Skarmory's become one of my least favorite Pokemon. I used to think it was super cool, but now all it does is piss me off. We go back to Winona, and then I send out Shroomy against Swablu because it might be the only one weak enough to not take him out one hit because he's quad weak to flying moves. We send out Cheery, and Cheery's just, you know, tanking all the hits, and we are stuck with Altaria. There's nothing I can do to protect. Siren Head just said hello. Okay, Siren's done. Cheery faints though, but we do send out Roselia. We give him the Toxic, because Altaria's is gonna absolutely swamp my team. Harvey is a little bit better at taking some of these flying moves because of the partial typing of flying. Then the Skarmory comes out and I have nothing to deal with it again. I send out Meeps because Meeps is just absolutely irritating and really good at tanking stuff. So here we go again with the nice Meep montage of being in the battle for like 6 minutes at a time. This is sped up, mind you, and it's just Meeps stays in that long. Giggles comes in with an awesome surf, takes out the Skarmory, and we win the battle. Got that badge, and we get Aerial Ace, which I'm going to teach to Tropius. Meeps finally evolves into a Cradily? Cradily? I have no idea. Here's the stats though. Always got to do a little bit of a stat check. As you can see, Rosolio's kind of falling behind now, except in special attack. Giggles still needs to evolve, and everybody else is doing pretty good. That tanky beast that is Meeps. Meeps really does pull through. Absolutely so annoying to use a Pokemon like that, but it's fun. Now we see Maxie is trying to get Groudon all riled up and pissed off. We defeat his Mightyena. This is when it gets hard because he has a Crobat now. And he took out Shroomy. He took out Rosolio. He took out Cheery. He took out Giggles. He took out Harvey. Only got in a couple hits with that. And now we just have Meeps left. Of course, Meeps doesn't have anything that can do any significant damage to Crobat. So we have to go through this fight a couple of times. Mostly because that Crobat is so strong and so fast that none of my Pokemon can land a hit. We give the Sky Uppercut to Mightyena, and eventually we beat him. Now we're dead again to Crobat. We do get a Shadow Ball off, but we're down. Cheery comes out, hits a Sunny Day, and then boom, is down. Giggles comes out, Ice Beam, wasn't even fast enough. Harvey, fly. Harvey just keeps flying up and smashing down on him, but he dies eventually. And now we're stuck here again with Meeps. Poor old Meeps just can't win. But we do eventually beat him, but now we're against a Camerupt with Meeps. We do Giga Drain him a good bit. We do get an Earthquake that hurts pretty bad, but we have Rest. So I just absolutely spam the shit out of moves, and we win. Meep, the stall champion. That is all Meeps is for, is basically a rock stall man. We go to Captain Stern's assistant. See that Archie just stole a whole ass boat, it seems. Gotta go find their little headquarters outside of Lily Cove. And now we're just fighting the fella who's making us turn away from Maxie. Another demon in disguise, Golbat. Quite the evil man because he is so painful to this whole poor team. But we do eventually win. He runs off. We go see Trickmaster one last time before we head on off to go fight some legendaries. I always like the Trickmaster. I wish they'd done this in other games. It's just a fun little thing to get some cool items. I'd forgotten because it had been so long where he's at. Here we are with a stat update for everybody. Everybody's looking pretty nice. Shroomi's looking real nice. So is Meeps when it comes to being tank. Also, Shiny Wingo! We catch a Shiny Wingo! Have you seen how cool this little dude looks? He doesn't look that much different than a normal Wingo. But of course, even though it's a female and I could have named it Fiona, we're naming it Shrek. I won't be using it because I have a flying surfer already, but it's such a cool little fella, and I want to go in here and look at him. Because if only he was here during a water or flying run. Look how cute she is. Just a cute little Wingo that's green. I've caught, I think, a few shinies doing these runs, which I guess is inevitable, but I don't change the odds or anything. It's just really good luck. Sadly, I don't get to have them for the real games. So now we're facing off the twins. The twins were actually scarier than I thought because that Xatu just keeps cranking up its special attack, and my poor team aren't necessarily weak to psychic part poison ones, but it was not a good time initially. But we do at least attempt. A good bit of my team has some sort of weakness to everything on their team, I think, except the Lunatone might actually have a psychic move, so it probably would still shit stomp poor Shroomy. We're still here. We got Meeps and Harvey. Meeps and Harvey are the envy. No, Harvey's dead. Everyone's dead. Everyone is completely dead. So we go back to the gym leaders. I change up the strategy just a little bit. Sometimes you just gotta try a different strategy. I don't use most of these Pokemon ever, so it's a complete guessing game for me when it comes to how they actually work. I initially want to take out Xatu because that bitch is the one that keeps taking out my team members. It's very strong. Very, very strong. So I keep using Surf and Fly so everyone's just kind of, not getting hit. Sadly, Giggles goes down, Shroomy goes down, Xatu finally dies, but it's Harvey and Meeps again versus the Solrock and the Lunatone, and I wasn't too sure on this. I know Meeps is pretty good at stalling out people. Harvey, though, is not too good at taking certain hits, like, Flamethrower would be pretty bad, but Harvey eventually is the last man standing, and we win. So we're scooting on out of this gym to go continue our story. Find that Steven is fighting with the Team Magma people, and we just send out good old Giggles with Surf and just keep hitting Surf over and over again. Giggles goes down though, so we send out Harvey. Nice that the Golbat died quickly because I only have 3 team members. It does suck that we are kind of stuck here with Steven, but He is the Pokemon League champion, so I guess there could be worse people to be stuck with to fight like this. Now, there is a Crobat, which was scary. Thankfully, Aggron was able to take out the Crobat, so it wouldn't take out all 3 of my Pokemon. We'll leave the Space Center place, go talk to Steven, and then we go hunt down a Waterstone. We got a Ludicolo, one of my favorite Pokemon. We see Archie is trying to awake Kyogre, so now there would be 2 catastrophic for the environment demons woken up. But now he also has a Crobat, and as you would imagine, Crobat was normally hard for me to beat, but my team's a little bit better now that I have everybody's evolved for once. Kyogre yeets itself out of the cave, and Archie's like, shit, what have we done? Because I don't know what they expected doing this, but we have to go visit the Cave of Origin and go talk to the most handsome of Pokemon League champions, the true one, at least in Emerald. Wallace, my favorite attractive man, at least in these games. We exit and we have to go wake up Rayquaza. Knock, knock, brother, you gotta go stop your friends. He does stop them. Archie and Maxie are just sitting over there, kind of, realizing what they've done is fucked up, and then they leave. We talk to Wallace and we are finally able to go meet with Juan at the Harem Ice Gym with all the pretty ladies underneath in the basement. Absolutely not cursed at all. Now, you would think this gym would have been easy. I know I've said that before. The water gym has a lot of ice moves. Thankfully, we are doing pretty good this run. And right now we've got Cheery fighting with the Kingdra. We set up a sunny day, start smacking them solar beams. Wishcast, solar beam, Crawdon, solar beam. We win the first try. Just them ice moves was a little bit threatening, but thankfully, Cheery had saved the day. We see Scott at the Pokemon Center outside of the Pokemon League. We had to put Meeps away to get Tentacle in the party, so I'm sorry, Meeps, but now you're part of the team again. I do apologize because I forgot to record the battle where we actually beat Wally, but of course, you can see how long this video is. We do eventually beat Wally. He beats us the first time, though, which sucked. I wasn't expecting that, but what can you expect when you haven't played this for a long time or you haven't played in depth? We do beat him eventually, and I'm sorry I didn't get that recorded. I honestly can't even remember how the battle went because it's been so long, but it's okay. Things will be okay. We are grinding in here because we are way too low level to defeat the Elite Four in the state that we're in now. Clearly, we're only in the 40s except for Shroomy. And man, it's hard to grind in here because there are so many Golbats. You would think that, for once in my life I would get a little bit lucky, but no. Instead of grinding in the very dangerous cave system, I just grind up against the Elite Four. There's a lot of time left in this video. The Elite Four was so hard. Not necessarily at the beginning, but the fact that there's a trainer who has a lot of ice type moves, there's a whole ghost trainer that causes issues, there's a whole ice trainer that causes issues. You can imagine that we had a couple of hiccups trying to get through here. And there's also a dragon trainer, which grass is not known for its ability to fight dragon Pokemon. So a lot of these trials and tribulations were just me grinding as much as possible, spending every cent I would get after getting defeated, reviving everybody between each battle, because I would almost always make it out with only one Pokemon left between each battle of the Elite Four, reviving, healing, saving all the PP ups for the big fights in the game, so I'm not using any of those. So there's a time where that actually causes some issues, but there's a lot of this. There's just a lot of grinding through the champions, trying to get through to the next one. Sometimes I would even, like in front of the dragon trainer, in front of the ice trainer originally, I would save the first time just to see if I could get through. This is a lot easier than grinding in the cave, at least, because again, I can't defeat half of the Pokemon in the cave, so, or at least not easily, and then people end up dying. I really can't have Shroomy dying repeatedly because I need Return to have that really high attack and, fainting loses friendship. So, I have to be very careful with how many times Shroomy dies. It's a little bit easier in the Elite Four to deal with that problem than in the caves. So, we're at the Dragon Trainer right now, and this one was scary. This was our first attempt at Drake, and of course, Stall Kings, Kingdra, and Meeps just stalling repeatedly. This is so sped up, and the poor old Meeps eventually loses because he doesn't have a move to attack with except one. Harvey comes out and gives him the fly, the smackdown. We have a Salamence that two-shots us. But we are able to consistently get to Drake. Shelgon is the least of our worries. Flygon is a big scary boy because he's a flamethrower. Altair's not all that scary because quad weak to ice. Kingdra is more irritating than scary, but we just send out Meeps, get ready for another good old Stallfest. Absolutely irritating. it made me lose my mind how often we were just stalled out. So I skipped through all of that, and Meeps makes it to Salamence. Meeps still has moves left. Meeps is just pounding away, but sadly passes out. Good old Meeps just can't get past that Kingdra, but eventually we do. This is our next round where we get past the Kingdra. Meeps gets to Salamence. Meeps makes him waste some of his Poke Points, but Harvey is here. All we can really do is fly and hope. We get him down to half health, we Toxic him with Roselio, and then Cheery comes out. Cheery's like, I'm ready for this. We double team, he misses, it works, and we beat Drake. And this is where we get stalled in the run. You wouldn't believe we would get stalled at the water trainer. Good old Wallace has a lot of ice types, and they are incredibly hard, or at least Pokemon with ice type moves. Melodic, as you can imagine, is an absolute pain in the ass because it knows Toxic, and it also has Recover, so it's pretty much Meeps if Meeps could heal himself with something that was decent and not in green. Because Meeps is just trapped. So we have to go through him many, many times to get through to this. Meeps has made it to Tentacruel. He's over here battling his life away. I'm trying to get him to waste as many Toxics as I possibly can with Rest when I get to Pokemon with Toxic, because that seems to be an easy way, at least for Meeps, to help the team out. We Toxic the Milotic. Poor old Rosoyo dies. He doesn't make it past the battle. Cheery goes down next. Meeps is in. Meeps is ready to be annoying. He got that Rest. He got that Ingrain. He got that Ancient Power and the Confuse Ray. So we pretty much just have a battle of who can last the longest. And it is absolutely... It is so sad. It is such a long, annoying battle. We get so close multiple times to taking out Milotic, but we are starting to run out of Poke Points. I'm trying to make sure that I use the Rest at the right moments. In Grain, I just spam to waste the Poke Points. We're finally running out of things. We've run out of Confuse Ray. We've run out of Ancient Power. We're running out of Rest. Ingrain we're starting to run out of as well. We're trying to outlive all of these stupid Toxics. Oh my god, I make fun of myself for using it, but I don't use it to this degree. We are now running out of almost every Poke Point. We only have 2 Ingrain and 1 Rest. And Meeps is like, I gotta rest one more time, and it's struggle session. Everyone's just fighting each other with struggle. Meeps makes it through. He beats Tentacruel with the struggle. Ludicolo comes out. Meeps is down. Poor little Meeps. But Giggle comes out to save the day. He ice beams Ludicolo, and this dude keeps on healing him and double teaming to where I can't hit him, but now we've got Harvey. We got Aerial Ace. He can't dodge that. We Solar Beam the Whiscash for half of its health. We get past him, and now we're at Gyarados. Gyarados is a scary man too, because he's got Hyper Beam. But you know who is scarier? Shroomy with 6 HP left. Shroomy said, fuck it, I'm winning. Shroomy comes out the champion of the team, at least for this round. But there's one more thing this team has to go through, one more tribulation and trial that we must face together. Well, except for Rosoyo, because he got balked because he was basically the most useless. I learned from the solo run with Rosoyo that it's basically useless against Steven's team. We leave the Elite Four, we come back, we look at the TV, we tell our parents that we see some blue shit on the sky on TV, but we're not really interested in that. Professor Bert and Brandon are like, hey, you want the national decks? I'm like, no, I want the grass decks, because that's all I care about. But now we're at the Steven fight. I have hoarded so many items. I went around the whole game looking for Poke Point ups, berries, anything I could get, because I needed very specific items. The hard Pokemon to get, all of his Pokemon are hard for this team. We came in way too underleveled. We are not getting anywhere at these levels, but I just wanted to show you the original first trial where you can just make fun of me for even attempting and thinking that I could get through this. But again, it had been so long, and sorry that, again, Tentacle's in the party. He's not able to do anything. So I hope that that doesn't break the game, but I needed somebody to get me over here. So now we're smacking him. We do get past Skarmory into our Armaldo. Sucks that he's pretty strong, but we actually don't get through them this time. Meeps is actually the highest level Pokemon on this team. We changed the strat up a bit, and we go back in. We get Armaldo down pretty low, and we kill him. We got Claydol, we Solar Beam him. Poor old Harvey, though, didn't get too far. Cheery's back in, got that Sunny Day, got that Solar Beam, I'm smacking him. Now we have a super scary Pokemon. Metagross. Absolutely terrifying for this team. So, all I can do is just go back and look at their stats. Go back and try to get a better idea of what the hell I'm gonna do, because at the moment I have somebody's playing with food in the background or some wrapper of some sort. I love this dog so much, but oh my god, he is the wildest little man. Okay, I think he's done making noise. Where were we at? So now we get back to good old Metagross. We get past him, beat Aggron, and now we have Credilli, and all of us know how fun Credilli is to go against, the classic stall-out man. So he takes out Giggles, he takes out Harvey, and we're solar beaming him, and Cheery just can't seem to get him down because Steven just keeps healing the damn thing, and it also has Ingrain. So now we're going Meeps versus Credilli, Credilli versus Credilli. Who has the best Credilli around? Mine had a little bit more of an advantage because the other one has already used some Poke Points and got its ass beat a few times, but we win with Meeps, the true Credilli, the strongest there is. But we had a lot of fun playing this round. I had a lot of fun, especially. You can see that I gave different items to everybody. Here's Shroomy, the attack man of the team, you could say. Giggles, our little kind of all-arounder, even though he was based in defense. Tropius, our classic little man who filled in spots we needed. I didn't put Tentacool up. Good old Cheery, and Credilli, the true champion of the game. We put Rosoya back in the party though, and I accidentally almost put Credilli in there because I don't know what I'm doing. We just want to check up him real quick before we go, even though he's super underlevel compared to everybody else because he didn't make it to the Steven fight. That is the end of the run. We had a ultimate blast playing this, or I did at least. I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope whoever watches these enjoys them because it's been a long time since I made any, and I really just wanted to get back into making videos, so expect more because I've already filmed a whole other one. Haven't edited it at all yet, and I have a Pokemon ROM hack that I'm actually doing a little bit of a run in, and plan to do ROM hack stuff if I can get a hold of them. I've seen there's a lot of new interesting ones out now these days, so I want to get in on those, but I hope you guys had an awesome time watching. I hope you like the new stuff, like the little steel that moves. And just in general, any of the updates. I plan to update a lot more to the channel going forward, but hope you all have a good day. Keep playing Pokemon.